Well, that was the way it was. I mean, I worked in the north of England for years, doing all kinds of jobs. And I was a window cleaner, I was a baker for a while, I did pest control, whatever it was. And I was good with my hands, I did all sorts of stuff with the wires and the electricity and things like that. But you see, I kept losing the jobs because I couldn't get out of bed in the morning. You see, at home, my daddy, if he saw me lying down, he'd pull me out of the bed, whether it was the morning or time to get up or not. So, I says, the alarm clock wasn't working, so I bought myself a dog. I called him Graham, but we all ended up calling him Gromit. And he was a great dog now. I wasn't sure what kind of a breed of dog he was now, because he used to stand on two legs and he had opposable thumbs. But you see, Gromit was too quiet then. So I wasn't getting up in the morning. I was half the day gone before he'd come in and get me. And so I made this thing, and it was my bed. There was a hole in the ceiling and the bed would tip over. And I'd slide into the kitchen, into my trousers, and all these mechanical hands would get me dressed, make me tea and all this sort of stuff. And it worked very well, So I went to the patent office and I showed the man all the mechanical hands, and he says, no, most people would find that unsettling and frightening. But you see, everything was unsettling and frightening back then. That's just the way it was. But Gromit was very clever now. He got himself a degree and everything. And you see, back then, dogs went out and they worked. And they don't do that anymore. They sit around shouting out to them now. But anyway, there was one time, because we've been working really hard now, I says, I'd like to go away somewhere. And I went out of the shop and I saw the paper. And I saw that the Russians had sent a dog into space. And I says, right, well, dogs seem to like space, so away we go now. So I brought Gromit to the moon. And I was telling my nephew, wee Shane, that the other day, and he says, how did you get to the moon? And I says, it's not that far away. I says, you just go up past Liverpool and you keep going up until you hit space. And that's you there at the moon. And that was the way it was. And we went to the moon and, well, we had a picnic and, they do lovely cheese. Lovely cheese. It would just melt in the bread. It was lovely. I would have liked to have had children now, but, I mean, I was coming into them trousers every morning at 40, 50 miles an hour, so not a hope in hell. Anyway, would you like some cheese?